Hello everyone, welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sport, and today we are going to be looking at 5 new Springbok players for 2022. Basically, the condition is 5 players I would like to see make their Springbok debut over the next sort of 12 months. Now, there are a lot of players who are knocking the door down, some players who've been part of the squad, some players who haven't been part of the squad, some players who, if I think we don't give debut to, we actually risk losing them to other nations and sort of risk losing them in the system. So this is about making a Springbok debut, by the way. So it's not about players who are playing well, earning recall. This is about potentially 5 new faces, new Springbok numbers that we could see before the end of the year. Now, there are quite a few. It's quite difficult to choose this list. So if there are any others that have sort of piqued your interest, please do let them put them down in the comments below. Please do smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. Rugby is getting back underway in South Africa next weekend with the start of the Currie Cup. The URC is back. There are currently some warm-up matches going on, so we are really going to start getting into it quite a bit in the next few weeks. Also, the Sevens calendar will be back quite soon, which will be quite exciting. So plenty of rugby to come. We're obviously doing quite a lot of cricket lately. We're going to be getting into our football. We've got very big plans for this year. But in terms of the 5 new Springboks, this is just my opinion. I want to know what your guys are down in the comments. But without any further ado, let's get over to number 1. So he didn't get onto the park despite being part of the squad throughout the Rugby Championship. But I think JOHAN is very much due a debut. You know, I think that with Bongi Benambi and Malcolm Marx, we've got 2 of the world's best hookers in terms of a combination. I think that Joseph Dwebe is a fantastic player as well. But I think JOHAN has been playing some phenomenal rugby over the last 12 months. Topping tackle charts, topping carries, really good at the breakdown as well. Decent line operator as well. And I think he's sort of one of the members who is sort of breaking that door down. And I think it'll be very nice for him to see trying a debut this year and sort of build that hooker stock. You know, if you sort of go into the World Cup saying, right, we've got Malcolm Marx, we've got Bongi Benambi, we've got Joseph Dwebe if things don't go well, and if there is an injury, you've got somebody like JOHAN Grobbelar, I think is playing some fantastic rugby. Our stocks are pretty good. You know, obviously somebody like Akafana Mervis, somebody that a lot of people have been asking why isn't he involved, doesn't seem to sort of really be on the setup in the radar. But I think JOHAN Grobbelar is definitely has earned his right to try and ride in the Springbok jersey. Now, somebody who's been quite literally breaking the door down in terms of breaking the opposition in front of him is ROOS, who has sort of shown in the last 12 months his incredible ball carrying ability. Now, I must admit, I think that, you know, he's actually probably slowed down a bit in the first couple of weeks of the URC, where he wasn't maybe as influential as he was during the Currie Cup. But he looks the real deal. He loves carrying the ball. You know, he carries, 17, 18 times during a match. He's very, very athletic. He's very quick off the mark. He's a very strong ball carrier that gets through a line of contact. Doesn't shy away from the defensive aspects. I think he can improve a little bit more on the sort of technique-wise there. But he's everything you'd like in an 8th man. And I still think that the 8th man, in terms of Dwayne Vermeulen's replacement, is very much up for grabs. You know, I don't think Jasper Wiese really managed to sort of break down the door and say, I am the number 2 once Dwayne goes. It's just me. You know, in fact, in many ways, although he didn't necessarily play 8th man, but I thought that Kwagga Smith's end of year tour showed what he could potentially do as part of a Bok trio. And if you bring back Peter Steph Toy on the flank, then you could potentially be having Kwagga Smith at 8th man and sort of having those roles being filled. But I do think that ROOS is definitely someone who will be a Springbok one day. It's a matter of when and not if. And I think, we look at the SAA tour that is scheduled for this year. It'll be a perfect opportunity for somebody like him to start making a claim at the highest level. Now, for this one to happen, Home Affairs actually has to come to the party because VINCENT currently does not qualify to play for the Springboks. If he would, I think he would definitely have been a tour member or a squad member by now. Probably been the most sort of standout loose forward in the last 2-3 years in South Africa that hasn't been part of the Box squad. You talk about a natural replacement for Peter Steph Toy. I don't think you can look much further than VINCENT. He's always topping tackling charts. He's a very good line-on operator. He's a very physical ball carrier. He's got everything you'd want. He's physical, he's big, he's got a big presence. I think he's taking quite a big leadership role, and he's still very, very young. So I think that he's someone, as soon as sort of he gets the sort of the passport and stuff sorted, has to be within that Springbok squad. And South Africa is always known for having very good loose forwards. But the Dupree brothers aren't seeming to be backed by the current start. They haven't really got the opportunities. Jasper Wiese, again, I don't think has made as much of an inroad as he probably could do. And I think VINCENT is someone who would add a lot of value to the squad as soon as he can. Now, somebody who is just tearing the Premiership up is Tyrone Green, who's been absolutely incredible for Harlequins. He's currently up for Player of the Month. He's played every single minute of Premiership rugby so far this season. I stand corrected, but I think he's the only player who has played every single minute of the Premiership season so far, and he's been in sublime form. Very much, it's an interesting player because he's not the biggest player, but he packs such a big punch. Deceptively fast, a great counter-attacking player, can operate in the wing and fullback, and got a fantastic skill set. And I think that we talk about the fact that where's the Villiers replacement? Where are we looking at our outside backs if we get injuries? He is someone who I think that is destined to play Test rugby, and he will do it whether he plays for Springboks or England. I think if the Springboks continue to sort of not necessarily rate him or sort of give him the opportunity, having played in the Premiership for already 2 years, he looks like he could potentially then make that switch to England, go on to play for England, which would be a massive loss for the Boks. So I'd love to see Tyrone Green in a Springbok jersey this year. Get in that debut, get him part of the setup, and then at least we know we've got somebody for the future. And then last but certainly not least, an area almost of concern, not necessarily because of the lack of talent out there, but because of the lack of options within the Springbok setup, is the centres. And we saw that, with injuries, we all of a sudden had Damien Delindi playing an outside centre, and we had Kanya Am on the wing. Centre is a position where the Springboks haven't really built a lot of depth in terms of the squad that they currently operate with. That Damien Willems, that Frans Steyn, Jesse Creel, you can all operate in the centre. Jesse Creel is more of an outside centre than anything else, but then played pretty well on the wing. But I think Wandisile Simelane is part of this Boks squad during that sort of extended squad for the British and Irish Lions. And since he's gone back to the Lions, I think he's going to become the most important player for the Lions. And I think he's currently being mentored by one of South Africa's greatest centres ever in Jacques Fourie. And I think that we're going to start ticking a lot of boxes, which maybe might have not have a couple of years ago. But I think in terms of someone in almost like a Kanya Am mold, in terms of the ability to be able to get a backline going, he's probably the best attacking centre in the country. Defensively, he needs a lot of work, and I think he's steadily getting better with that. But when he's on the ball, he makes things happen. And when the Lions beat the Stormers, which is quite a shock result, he was at the heart of almost everything that was good. Every single time he got the ball, he gets over the advantage line. He finds space. He opens up space. And he's exactly the type of flair that a lot of fans are calling out for within the Springbok setup. So those are the 5 players I would like to see get a Springbok debut this year. Let me know what you think. Let me know which players you would add. Are there any of these players who you don't think maybe are Springbok quality? Let me know down in the comments. Please do smash like on the video. Continue to subscribe to the channel as well. Let's see what targets we can hit this year. My name is Steven. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll chat to you soon.